श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपां साग्रजतां सहगना रघुनाथान्वितां तां सजीवं सार्वैतां सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपदाय राधिकाय प्रियात्मने सुषिमाद्भक्तिवेदान्तनारायणेति नामिने वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुवरं श्रीरूपानुगप्रवरं व्रजरसरसिकं च नारायणं तं प्रपन्नं श्रीगुरुचरणं वन्दे रमणप्रस्थाय भूतले रूपनुगभक्तिदं च कृपमूर्तिं नारायणम् श्रीकृष्णलीलाकथने सुदक्षं परं वरण्यं पुरुषमहन्तं नारायणं त्वां शिरसा नमामि। नमामि विष्णुपदाय श्रीकेशवप्रियात्मने श्रीश्रीमद्भक्तिवेदान्त नामिने गौरभवमदेह उज्ज्वलरसभावकः भक्तिवेदान्तभक्तिप्रवर्तक गुरुधाम्ने च सेवासु वैष्णवे सर्वधामति घन्टे भगवते साक्षात् गोस्वामी वेदान्ते रति नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनीति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो विष्णुपदाय आचार्यसिंहरूपिणे श्रीमद्भक्तिप्रज्ञान केशवैति नामिने अतिमूर्ताय चरित्राय स्वश्रितनाम च पालिने जीवदुःखे सिद्धार्थाय श्रीनामप्रेमदायिने गौरश्रय विग्रहाय कृष्णकामायकचारिणे रूपानुगप्रवराय विनोदेति स्वरूपिणे प्रभुपादन्तरङ्गाय सर्वसद्गुणशालिने मयवारतमोघ्नाय वेदान्तर्तवदे नमः। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिसिद्धान्त सरस्वतीति नामिने वैष्णवी दयिते कृपाब्धये कृष्णसम्बन्धविज्ञानदायिने प्रभवे नमः। माधुर्योज्ज्वलप्रेमाढ्य श्रीरूपानुगभक्तिरा श्रीगौरकुणशक्तिविग्रहाय नमोस्तुते नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमूर्तये दिनतारिणे रूपानुगविरोधाभाससिद्धान्तर्वान्तहारिणे नमः गौरकिशोराय साक्षाद्वैराग्यमूर्तये विप्रलम्भरसम्बोधे पदाम्बुजायते नमः। नमो भक्तिविनोदाय सच्चिदानन्दनामिने गौरशक्तिस्वरूपाय रूपानुगवरायते गौरविर्भवभूमिस्त्वं निर्तस्तस्य जनाप्रिया वैष्णवसार्वभौम श्रीजगन्नाथाय ते नमः। वञ्चकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितनां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरतिषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते तप्त कंचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय जयतां सुरतोपंगोर्मम मंदरमते गति मत्सर्वस्य परम्भोज श्रीराधमादनमोहन दिव्यार्विन्दरण्यकपद्रुमधः श्रीमरत्नकरसिंहासनस्थो श्रीमराधा शीलगोविन्ददेवो पृष्ठालिभिसेव्यो मनुस्मरामि श्रीमारसरसरम्भि वंशीवततस्थितः कर्षवेणुसुनैर्गोपीर्गोपीनाथः श्रीयस्तुना ॐ वृन्दाय तुलसीदेव्याय प्रियाय केशवस्य च कृष्ण भक्ति प्रदेवी सत्यवत्यै नमो नमः पंचतत्त्वमकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तवतारं भक्तक्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम् श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरे श्री गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे Sing for group. I have a cold. Anyone sing for group? Yeah, I think
You want to continue? Page 360. Gurudev Kripa Karke. Zero, yes. गुरुदेव कृपा करके मुझको अपना लेना मैं शरण परा तेरे चरणों में जगा देना मैं शरण परा तेरी चरणों में जगा देना चरणों में जगा देना गुरुदेव कृपा करके मुझको अपना लेना करुणा निधि नाम तेरा करुणा बरसाओ तुम सोए हुए भाग्य को हे नाच जगाओ तुम सोए हुए भाग्यों को हे नाच जगाओ तुम मेरे नाव अवध डोले उसे पा लगा देना उस पार लगे ना गुरुदेव कृपा करके मुझे को अपना लेना तुम सुख के सागर हो भक्ति के सहारे हो मेरे मन में समाये हो, मुझे प्राण सा प्यारे हो। नित्य मार बप्पू तेरी, मेरे दोस्त बुला देना। मेरे दोस्त बुला देना। ओ गुरुदेव कृपा करके मुझे को अपना लेना। मैं संत का सेवक हूँ, गुरु चरण का दासा हो। नहीं नाथ बुलाना मुझे, इस जग में अकेला हूँ। तेरे द्वार भिखार हो, नहीं दिल से बुला देना। नहीं दिल से बुला देना। ओ गुरुदेव कृपा करके मुझे को अपना देना। जय गुरुदेवा, जय गुरुदेवा, गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा। जय प्रभुपरा, जय प्रभुपरा, प्रभुपरा जय प्रभुपरा। गुरुदेव की जय। Gurudev, have mercy on me. Take me as your own. I fall. I fell. I don't want to touch it without your opinion. Gurudev, have mercy on me. Take me as your own. I fall before you, taking shelter of you. Please grant me a place at your feet. You reading the rest next? Your name is the repository of companion. Kindly shower me with that, O Master. Rose my sleeping fortune. My boat is caught in a whirlpool. Kindly rescue me. You are the ocean of happiness and the neutral of devotion. You are always on my mind. You are more dear to me than life itself. Increasingly, I chant your name. Kindly forget my faults. I am a servant of the Vaishnava and am forever sold as the feet. My Guru, O Master, please do not forget me. Who am I all alone? In this world. I am a beggar at your feet. Please do not let your heart forget me. Singing.
Okay. Ohe, ohe, Vaishnava Thakura, Dayara Sagara, He Dasi Karuna Koi. Ohe Vaishnava Thakura Dayara Sagara Edasi Karuna Koi. Diya Pada Chaya Shodaya Mare. Diya Pada Chaya Shodaya Mare. Tumhara Charana Dori. Chaive Gadami Chadusha Shodi. Chaya Vega Chaya Guna Deha Dasi. Saya Satsanga Dehoya Mare. Jaya Satsanga Dehoya Mare. Bose Chi Sangira Ase. Ohe Vaishnava Thakura Dayara Sagara Edasi Karuna Koi. Ekakiya Mara Nahi Paya Bolo. Ekakiya Mara Nahi Paya Bolo. Harinama Sankirtane. Tumi kripa kori Shraddha Bindu diya. Tumi kripa kori Shraddha Bindu diya. Sri Deho Krishna Namadane. Krishna se tumhara. Krishna se tumhara, Krishna dite paro, tumhara sakatiya che. Amito Kangala Krishna Krishna Bole. আমি তো কাঙ্গালা কৃষ্ণ কৃষ্ণ বলি দায়িত্বা পাছে পাছে Ohe Vaishnava Thakura Dayara Sagara Edasi Karuna Koi Jayo Vaishnava Thakur Jayo Vaishnava Thakur Vaishnava Thakur Jayo Vaishnava Thakur Oh Jayo Vaishnava Thakur Jayo Vaishnava Thakur Vaishnav Thakur ki Jai.
Oh, hey, Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Sorry.
I could read the English. O Vaishnav Thakur, you are an ocean of mercy. Being compassionate upon this servant, purify me by giving me the shade of your lotus feet. Help me subdue the 6 urges and purify my 6 faults. Bestow upon this servant the 6 qualities of a devotee and give me the 6 kinds of devotional association. I am waiting in hope to attain your association. Alone, I do not have the strength to perform Harinam Sankirtan. Being kind and giving me 1 drop of faith, bestow upon me the priceless treasure of Krishna Nam. Krishna is yours. You have the power to give Krishna. I am only a beggar running behind you, calling out, Krishna, Krishna. Jai.
Thank you. Day. That's fine. Oranga Bolite Habe Pulaka Sharira Hari Hari Bolite Nai Yaneva Venira Pulaka Sharira Hari Hari Bolite Nai Yaneva Venira Araka Benita Chande Karuna Hoibe Samsara Vasana Mora Kabe Tu Chabe Vishaya Chadiya Kabe Shurave Mana Kabe Ama Eravo Shri Vrindavana Chadiya Kabe. Shri Vrindavana Rupa Raghunatha Pade Oive Yakuti Kabeyama Buja Bose Yugala Piriti Rupa Raghunatha Pade Rahumora Asha Pratana Koroye Sada Narottamo Dasa Tamotasa Goranga Bolite Habe Pulaka Sharira Hari Hari Bolite Na Yane Babenira Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Rama Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Go Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Jaya Radha Raman Bihari, Radha Raman Bihari, Radha Raman Bihari, Shri Radhe. Radha Jaya Radha Govinda, Radha Govinda, Radha Govinda, Shri Radhe. Haribo, 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 Nitai Gora Haribo. Haribo, Nitai Gora, Haribo, 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 Nitai Gora Haribo. Shri Gornitai ki, Jai, Narottam Das Thakur ki jai. When will the hair of my body stand on end upon chanting Gauranga? When will my eyes overflow with tears upon chanting Hari Hari? And when will the moonlight Nityananda Prabhu bestow his mercy upon me? When will my material desires become insignificant? When will my mind, as a result of my renouncing material enjoyment, become purified? When will I behold Sri Vrindavan? When will I develop eagerness for the lotus feet of Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, by whose mercy I will be able to understand the love, priti, of the divine couple? Let all my hopes and aspirations remain at the lotus feet of Sri Rupa and Raghunath Das. This is the constant prayer of Narottam Das. Hare Krishna Pranama. I don't know. What was the verdict? Hare Krishna Pranama? One more picture.
Radha Krishna Prana Mora Yugala Kishora Radha Radha Krishna Prana Mora Yugala Kishora Divane marane gate aranahi mora Divane marane gate Kalindera kulakali kadambera wana Kalindera kulakali kadambera wana Ratana Vedera Upar Posavotu Jana Ratana Vedera Upar Shama Gauri Ange Divachua Chandanera Ganda Chamara dhula bakabe heriva mukha chandra Gadhiya malate mala tiboto hagale Adhare tuliya tibo karpura tambule Radha Krishna Prana Mora Yugala Kishora Divane marane gate aranahi mora Divane marane gate aranahi mora Lalita Vishakha Adi Jata Sakhi Vrinda Agyana kare baseva charanara vinda seva Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Dasaranu Dasa Seva Abhilasha Kare Narottama Dasa Jai Radhe, Jai Radhe, Jai Radhe, Jai Shri Radhe. Jai Krishna, Jai Krishna, Jai Krishna, Jai Shri Krishna. I have cookies in the oven. So I'm back.
Thank you.
How do we fix it?
Tighten.
Feels very tight. Oh, like all the way over.
Ooh.
Where do you want? Right here?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Go ahead. I'll hold it for you.
Perfect. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Whoa, Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Whoa, Rama, Rama. Hare Hare. Bolo. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Whoa, Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Whoa, Rama, Rama. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Whoa, Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Whoa, Rama, Rama. Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, whoa, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Together, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, whoa, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Very interesting. Papers, prayer papers. So welcome everybody. Thank you for coming. Dino in order, Dino, Scott, Nityaram, Satyavati, Gideon. Is your wife here? Oh, okay. Great, great, great. So before we, on Sunday, before we have the speaking part, we utter certain prayers of invocation to call for the presence of our self-realized gurus, that they may make their presence here and purify and empower whatever is going to be happening. So I think you all have the white sheets. Okay. Agyanam timirandasya jnananjana salakaya chaksurunmilitam yena tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhakta Tadavaktaya Namo Namah. Yam Pravijantam Manipretam Apita Krityam Dvaipayano Viraka Taruhajuhav Putre Ditanayataya Tarubanidos Tan Sarvabhu Taridayam Munimanatosmi Bhaktya Vina Aparada Vakshay Chettasya Kamari Tarangamadye Kripanayitvam Sharanam Papadyam Brinde Namaste Charanarvindam Tavaivasmi Najivami Tambina Iti Vigyai Radhe Tam Nayamam Charanantike. Pink page. Kripayati Adiradha Padita Sheshabadha Kimaparavashishtam Pushti Maya Diyorme Yadi Vadati Chakinchit Smira Soditashir Tujavadamani Pantya Mukti Shoktya Tadakim Shamakundara Shikanda Shekar Smeraha Samurali Manohar Radhikara Sikama Kripanidhe Swapriya Charanaki Kari Karo Pranamata Vishabhanu Nandini Srimukhabjara Salo Satapada Radhika Padatale Gritastiti Tam Bhajami Rasike Trishekara Sambadaya Dashane Trinam Bibo Partaye Bhajamahendra Nandan Astu Mohan Tavati Ballabha Janma Janmani Madhiswari Priya. First, I offer my unlimited obeisances in the dust of the lotus feet of my most worshipful Diksha Gurudev, Nitya Pravishta Om Vishnupad, Astotra Sat Shri Srimad Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, and the same unlimited obeisances in the dust of the lotus feet of my most worshipful Shiksha Gurudevs, Nitya Pravishta Om Vishnupad, Astotra Sat Shri Srimad Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj, Shri Srimad Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj, to our grandfather gurus, Shri Srimad Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Goswami Maharaj, and Shri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, to all of his divine associates, and to all the assembled devotees. Do you need a chair? And to all the assembled devotees, Diksha Gurus, who are my Shiksha Gurus, Shri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Madhav Maharaj, Shri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Ban Maharaj, and Shri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Siddhanti Maharaj. Thank you all for coming. On Sundays, we generally concentrate on Q&As with some short topic before that. So the short topic of today is that I know some of you are leaving town tomorrow, or when are you leaving? This afternoon, wow. Okay, and wherever you go in the country or out of the country, we hope that you'll join us or any other group that's doing the same thing that we'll be doing starting on Wednesday, which is called Navadvip Dham Parikrama. Parikrama means, pari means like going around, krama means steps. So you're walking around the holy land called Navadvip, which is the pastime place of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Anybody here not know Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Okay, so he is Radha and Krishna, or Hare and Krishna, combined together. As you know, as you may know, Radha and Krishna are the divine amorous couple. Their amour has nothing to do with material amour or lust. This is the most pristine of all consciousness, and the goal of all devotees, Vaishnavas, Gaudiya Vaishnavas, is to enter into service to their amorous pastimes. Of all the amorous pastimes, the most famous and elevated is called Rasa Lila, where Krishna and Radha and billions of her expansions dance in a very beautiful dance, just by hearing which anyone would become so elevated that their life becomes perfect. When Srila Prabhupada, our Diksha Guru, used to give initiation into the chanting of the holy name of Krishna, I remember in New Vrindavan, when he was giving initiation, he said, by this initiation, one day you may become eligible to enter into Krishna's Rasa Lila, or Rasa dance. We don't want to become an enjoyer with Krishna as a competitor of Radharani. We want to be her maidservant doing various services during the Rasa Lila, like playing musical instruments, running to get her ankle belts if they fall off, or feeding them betel nuts as they're dancing. So many beautiful services. So, when this amour combines together, when Radha and Krishna combine together to become one, they become Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or the supreme renunciate, who is completely renounced of all material enjoyments, tasting the only enjoyment of this material world, which is the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra and related loving mantras. He's the one who made popular the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra in this world 500 years ago. And he would have millions of people chanting with him. Amazing. You can imagine like 16 mridangas, so many kartals, so many lead singers and dancers. So his abode, where he lives, his dham, or holy abode, is called Navadvip. So 500 years ago, after the disappearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his main associate in blue here, Nityananda Prabhu, took or led the very first Navadvip Dham parikrama, and his main follower was 12-year-old Jiva Goswami. And do we have many copies of this? When? Tomorrow? Okay, so, right. All right, so if we have a few copies here. I hope that you'll all avail yourself of this book or the other book. Do we have Brajmandal Navadvip Dham Parikrama books? Vasanti? Do we have the big green book? We have many copies of the Navadvip Dham Parikrama book, which is just like this, except that it's Srila Gurudev's lectures when he's taking out thousands of devotees on this same parikrama. So it's the same information, just a little bit expanded. So I hope that you'll all avail yourself of this book. And yeah, that's it. Do we have many of these? Okay, that's this. So even if we can't go physically, we can go mentally and devotionally by the book. And when we go by the book and we come to a particular picture in one of the particular 9 islands, because Navadvip, Nava, Dweep. Dweep means island, and Nava means 9. It also represents the 9 processes of devotional service. Hearing, chanting, remembering, serving the lotus feet, means going on parikrama actually. Offering prayers, carrying out the order, becoming a friend, and surrendering everything. 9 processes. Did I say them all? So we meditate whenever we read or look at any of the pictures that were actually there. And what we do is we put our heads at the picture and we meditate that we're actually there, and we are there if our meditation is sincere. We come to different holy rivers, like the Ganges River. And then we do Achman. I think all of you know how to do Achman with the little spoon and the little cup. We do Achman, and then we meditate that we're diving in and swimming around and coming out and drying off and putting the water of the particular river on our foreheads to purify our thinking, our eyelids to purify our vision, our tongue to just go into the body and purify the whole thing in there, and our heart to purify that. And when we go to a place that's not a body of water, like here, for example, then no need to do Achman, but we do bow down and take the dust from that place and put it on our head, eyelids, tongue, and heart. Yesterday, Gurudev's sound file team sent out a little video where Srila Gurudev is saying, why do we want to go to the Dham? Why will the pure devotees take us to the Dham during this particular time of the year when it's Lord Chaitanya's birthday, or during the October-November time when it's a time to go around Vrindavan. So why did the pure devotees take us? Do they need to get the darshan of Krishna? Do they need to get purified? No. So why do they take us? And he gave the answer that everybody walks barefoot, so if you can. So the pure devotees are walking through all the transcendental dust of the holy Dham. And then that dust comes up with the air and the breeze, and it comes onto our bodies. And that gives, without even reading or hearing anything, that gives us transcendental knowledge, because it's the dust from the lotus feet of the pure devotees, which Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur sings in one of his kirtans, gives all perfection. So on Wednesday at around 8 o'clock, we're going to be going to the Ganges River in the form of the Atlantic Ocean. And we're going to be sitting at the beach and utter some very powerful mantras. This is called sankalpa, or making vows, called sankalpa, and that is the perfect beginning of our parikrama. And then every day we'll be going to different islands, or 2 islands, depending. And very beautiful pastimes with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his devotees, or his incarnations, take place there on those islands. So, as I said, you don't have to go with our group. There are many groups that are going, but we also invite you to come with our group. And that starts Wednesday at 8, but then starting Thursday, be going twice a day. I mean, the devotees who are there in India, some of our devotees from Miami went there, and they'll just be out all day and take their lunch out, sometimes breakfast out, and then they come back for an evening program. So we'll be having the morning program at 9:30. 9:30, no, starting at 8:30. 8:30 till 10 in the morning, and then starting at 6:30. Is that correct, Vasanti? Or do we want to start at 6? It's 6 o'clock because there's lots of places to go to and lots of kirtans and bhajans to do in relation to those places. So I wanted to tell you that, and that for a few of you, we have this book. We're here, Nityananda Prabhu is taking Jiva, young Jiva, out on parikrama, and they're both fainting, their hairs are standing on end, they're rolling on the ground. It's amazing. And then this book, which we have plenty of, you can take, and then this one does not have pictures, maybe a couple of black and white ones, and this bigger one has maybe hundreds of pictures. So you can take your choice and hope that you will get one. So let me see, is there anything else to say about? Well, there's unlimited to say about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So as I mentioned, he's a supreme renunciate, but he's also teaching the world how to have the highest happiness, not dry renunciation, but chanting and hearing the holy name gives the supreme bliss and all the happiness of all the worlds is there in the holy names. Vasanti, do you know where the map of the universe is? I just saw it the other day. It's in the Brahma Samhita, but don't we have a framed big version of it? Yeah. If it comes off easily from the wall. Right, the reason I wanted to show this is that just as Krishna's abode of Vrindavan is the source of all other holy abodes. Yeah, that's it. Okay. All right, so like here we are, here we are down here, one universe. And we have all the different planets. We have Durga, the powerful illusory material energy, as the controller. And then outside of this universe, if you see all these balls here, there are other universes. And they're all breathed. They're all being breathed in and out of the body of Lord Vishnu. I think you all saw that painting. Beyond the whole material cosmos is the effulgence of the rays of Krishna's toenails, called the Brahma Jyoti, where all the spiritual planets are floating. The spiritual planets are called Vaikunta. Vai means without, and Kunta means anxiety. So like here's Lord Narayan, who presides over each of the Vaikunta planets. Beyond that is the very highest of the Vaikunta planets, called Goloka Vrindavan, which has different sections, like Mathura and Dwarka, and Vrindavan, which is the highest. And that's where Radha and Krishna, in their original features, sport. And all the other personalities are not other personalities, they're just expansions of Radha and Krishna. So why am I telling all about that? Because all of this is within Navadvip. So it's not an ordinary place. All the unlimited Vaikunta planets are there with somewhere within, in one corner actually, of one of the islands, Mahatpur, of Navadvip. And all the other holy places are there. It's stated if the gain that one may make of a month being in any other holy place is made by a day or a few minutes of being in Navadvip. Okay, thanks. No, it's not. Oh, some of it is my painting. Like they put little blips of it here and there. So that's where we're going, to that place. So I hope that you'll be happy to join us. And now I'm going to ask if there's any questions or comments. Yes, Satyavati. Whoever's asking the question, can you kindly take the mic? Because even if we could hear you, which we can't, the live stream needs the mic.
Hare Krishna, thank you. For a first-timer making the parikram, the Navadvip parikram, what mood should we attempt to be in?
Very good and humble question. Just like when we read a book, Srila Gurudev explained, we don't read. We put the book on our head and heart, and we pray, "O Prabhu, O Lord, you're not a book, you are," and then who's ever involved with that particular book, like you are Sukadeva Goswami yourself, you're Maharaj Pariksit yourself, you're Prabhupada yourself as the original commentator, translator. So all of you, please shower your mercy on us or me, depending on who, if you're with anybody, so that I can realize whatever you're personally telling me. Now that's a very important part, that this is very, very personal. And the books are our shiksha gurus, our instructing gurus, and they're really alive. Because the books aren't paper and ink, they're the transcendental knowledge. And knowledge is personified. There are personalities of knowledge, like Radharani, like Krishna. So please shower your mercy on us so that we can realize whatever you're trying to tell us as we sit here at your lotus feet. And please take away all of our faith in the illusory energy Maya so that we can realize that you're the reality. So whatever we do has a mood. So I'm very happy that you asked. So the mood of going to the Holy Dham is to think of all the things that we mentioned, like what is contained in the Holy Dham. Then also we'll want to read who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that he's Krishna. Krishna is the supreme absolute whole. There's no one outside of him. So how do we get Radha? Radha, like I couldn't be able to speak right now unless I had some energy. Sometimes I don't have the energy to speak. But when I have energy, I can speak. So when Krishna has his transcendental internal energy, or his pleasure potency, Srimati Radhika, who embodies that, then he can be God. He can be the most beautiful, the most wealthy, the most renounced, the most merciful, all of his qualities. So, why did I mention that? So, even though she's his energy, she's an independent personality without whom he can't be God. Just like the sunlight is nothing but the energy of the sun, but without the sunlight, the sun is just a dark rock, isn't it? So he is who he is because of her. So not only by tattva or philosophy, but by personal exchanges, he's actually feeling, even though he's God and he knows everything, he's thinking, what is it about Radharani that drives me mad? She's my dancing teacher, just like the wind is the dancing teacher of the leaves. You know how they make them twirl around. So I want to know what is the nature of her love. And then what is it about me that she alone relishes, that even I can't taste about myself, even though I'm Atmaram, I take pleasure in myself, I don't taste myself like she does. So what is it about me? And third, what is the happiness that she tastes that's 10 million times greater than my happiness and our loving exchange? In order to fulfill those three desires, he prayed to her for her mood and her complexion. And when she granted that, then he became Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's Krishna with the mood and complexion of Radharani, seeing from the other side. Like probably, like a girl and boy who have a relationship, they'll sometimes wonder, with that expression on his or her face, I wonder what they're thinking. So everything has its origin in Krishna. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is that transcendental highest love, and he's come here to give us not the love that Krishna feels as Radharani, but the beauty of her love, or the treasure of her love. Like, a treasure chest is usually locked. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna to unlock that treasure of the beauty of Radha's love, and that is her maidservants. And so that's what he came to give. He came to give everything, all relationships, but that was the pinnacle that he's stressing, and anything else that needed to be given, he gave as a general course. Does that answer it? Sort of about the mood? Humility, grief-stricken, begging, yeah, like that. Okay, and then it becomes ecstatic. Anything else? Yes. You always have challenging questions, which I love.
Some of us we grew up in Krishna consciousness, but we had the idea that by chanting the holy name 16 rounds a day and following the 4 rules, we can wind up with being with Radha and Krishna. But then from hearing from other acharyas, we find that actually this may take several lifetimes or more. So by Lord Chaitanya's grace, what can we actually aspire to get to in this life?
Did everybody understand the question? All right, so it depends on what you're hearing from Srila Prabhupada. For example, we have heard and have read in his letters, just chant 16 rounds, follow the 4 regulative principles, no meat, fish, eggs, and so on. And then you'll go back to home, back to Godhead. But did I hear, when he was in Australia, that someone asked, how long does it take to become perfect by Krishna consciousness? And he said, it could take 1 second. It could take 1 second, or as you said, it could take many, many births. And this depends on a few things. It depends on our activities of our previous life, where we made a certain amount of advancement. How I did previously. People get graduated to university if they've been good and studied and passed certain tests in high school. So similarly, because this is not our only life, we have many millions of previous lives, depending on how we acted. Like, okay, I could have done 5 lives of devotional service, and you could have done 10 in your 10 past lives, but you could have made a lot of offenses, and I could have been very sincere. So I might be ahead of you now. And so someone who's ahead will quickly find a qualified guru and quickly be able to follow him. Whereas somebody who's not so qualified from previous lives and this life will have a hard time finding a genuine guru, or if he does find one, he'll have a hard time following. So you're right, that simply by chanting 16 rounds, one can reach the highest perfection, but that depends on how I'm chanting. There are 3 different kinds of chanting. One is offensive chanting, where there are 10 offenses, like blaspheming the devotee who's dedicated his life propagating the holy name of the Lord, sinning on the strength of chanting, thinking that the glories of the Lord are imaginary, and so on. Shri Shri Radharaman Bihare Jeev Ki Jai. To not have complete faith in the holy name and to maintain material attachments in spite of hearing so many instructions on the matter. That's the 10th offense. So if I'm committing the offenses and thinking that, well, it's all right, I'm still advancing, then I'll come slower than a person who's diligently not only avoiding the 10 offenses, that's negative, what I'm avoiding, but then on the positive side, he's grief-strickenly praying for that highest thing. Like you asked, what's the highest we can aspire for in this life, I think you asked. Well, we aspire for the topmost. There's so many kirtans in our songbook where the writers, like Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, said, okay, so now I'm the lowest, but I want the highest. So give me the highest. Not that, yeah, I'm so fallen, I'm so low. I shouldn't aspire for much. So yes, we feel very low and fallen and wretched, but we want that highest thing. Without having a goal, there's no question of a path to get to that goal. So our goal is, just like so many people came here from other parts of the city today, but so they had our address and the GPS, and then they knew the path to take to get here. So similarly, our ultimate goal is what we want. So I may not get it in this life, I may not get it in a million lives, but that's what I want. And so I learned from our spiritual predecessors and present teachers what is the path to that. There are certain moods, certain kirtans, certain books that give us the greed for that, even though I know I'm not qualified. Does that answer the question? Sort of?
Yes, very nice.
Okay. Any other question? Gideon, do you have any? Okay. Yeah, Gina.
I always have like a
You
few
do.
questions. So one I would like for you to explain, I'll just do it one by one, more about like the Dham and Parikrama and why we practice it.
Well, that's the question?
Yeah, and maybe I'll have another one.
Why do we go to the Dham?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you had come in late, but I was explaining that Gurudev said that the dust, not only the dust from the lotus feet of the pure devotees who are presently or previously walked across the Dham, but also Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates walked across the Dham. And so the dust from their feet, it rises up in the air and gets on our bodies and touch our bodies, and that purifies us. Also, special benefit is given at the time of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance day. What's the date of his appearance? March 3rd. So we begin on February, 26th is it? 25th, going for Sankalpa at the ocean. And then that goes on till his actual appearance day. And that's a special, powerful time to go on parikrama. And here, so we're touching with our senses, breathing, just by breathing the air from the holy rivers, like the Ganges and the Saraswati. We make a lot of advancement and get free from past sins. And then, so sitting there, touching the land, touching it to our head, our eyelids, our tongue, and heart. Does that help?
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions?
I had a follow up
Oh.
to the 10 offenses. One of them is essentially like to not tell the glories of Krishna to like an atheist or something. So my question is like, how do we have discernment of like who to, you know, kind of explore the glories of Krishna with and like
Good.
talk to him about him?
Right. So, I think it's the 9th offense, is to preach the glories of the Lord to the faithless. So who's basically not faithless? Everyone is faithless. So what does it mean? One way that Srila Prabhupada explained it is that it takes so much energy to try and convince a person who's just going to be argumentative. And with that same amount of energy, you can convince so many innocent persons who are receptive, like we meet all the time here. So it means don't waste your time. And then plus you have to hear blaspheme back. And we may not be able to meet their arguments if we're standing there with them. And we may even get affected if our level of advancement is kind of low. Low level of advancement is called komal. Komal means very soft and pliable, easily bendable, easily convincible. Like if we have bad association, you know, like if you associate with people who drink, you may just do that. Whereas if you're living with your parents and they're atheists and they're bombarding you and they just want you to watch TV and things like that, then you may get affected. Well, I don't want to displease them and all that. Does that make sense? Okay.
Thank you, Sharon.
So like with parents who are not interested in hearing, then we don't waste our time speaking about that. We just show them by our loving behavior with them that we've improved by being in the bhakti movement. Any other? Yes, Raga.
Hare Krishna. So we hear about, when speaking about Namaparad, how to, if one wants to eventually transcend Namaparad and chant Sudanam one day, we have to just keep chanting and chanting and chanting Namaparad. Similarly, if we're knowingly or unknowingly committing aparads in our seva, the only way to get past that is just keep doing seva, even if we have, you know, some unfavorable behaviors. And so I guess my question is, how do we, like, it seems, surface level, it seems contradictory. So how do we understand it better?
Why does it sound contradictory?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, how do we...
Just keep
how do
doing
we understand
offenses?
it? Yeah, like keep making offenses and then you'll be less offensive. I'm like, what?
Right. When I first, before I met Gurudev back in the 90s, I was very dissatisfied with my chanting quality. So I would ask various God brothers and God sisters, like, what do you have to say about how I can improve? And they would quote very nice scriptures saying how to improve, and it was great, but it didn't help. And then I asked, when I first met Gurudev in 1992, I asked him, and he sat up very straight, and he said, you have to associate with someone who's chanting purely. So that's one basic thing, is to associate with devotees who you, it looks like to you, aren't offensive in their chanting, or who are less offensive than you are, and who are very sincere in their service. And then to inquire from advanced devotees about how can I become free. And then, let's say I asked Gurudev once, And he said, if you do the bhajans, the songs by our acharyas, there are different kinds of bhajans. One is expressing my lowliness and putting that lowliness forth at their lotus feet to do something about. And another one is praying for various types of ecstasies while chanting. One is praying for perfectional service while chanting, like, when will I take my birth in Vrishabhanupur, where Radharani's parents live? When will I have my marriage in Yavat, where Radharani lives as a so-called married to one of the gopas? So then what the bhajans do is they put a certain they change our mood for chanting. He said if we just go into chanting without that, then because I'm full of material desires, that's what's going to come out of my chanting. So if I'm saturated with the bhajans, like what's one bhajan? You sing them. And what does that mean?
Worship the lotus feet.
Who should worship?
All mind, worship the lotus feet of Nandanandana, who bestows fearless. Worship the lotus feet of Nandanandana, who bestows fearlessness. This human birth is very rare, so take the association of sadhus and cross over this ocean of birth and death.
Right, so like I'm thinking of that, and then when I start chanting, that goes in there. That help?
Yeah.
Okay. And then I can ask, like, okay, here I am in the kitchen, and I'm preparing something, and not realizing that it's an offense to taste it before it's been offered. So I'm associating with the devotee standing next to me, and then she or he says something. Oh, wow, thanks. Or, is it okay? Something comes at a certain time. Is this okay? Like just by being around. And then a moment comes, hey, wait a minute. I'm tasting this. I wonder if it's all right. Is this all right? No. Unless you think maybe you put too much salt in it, then for checking, it's okay.
And then I guess a follow-up question is, sometimes we see devotees who had very close, at least physical association with a pure devotee, and then they ended up, going a different path or, leaving bhakti altogether. So if the remedy to our namaparad is to hear the holy names from a pure devotee, and then those people are doing that, is that just a symptom of their adhikar? Or I guess, what's the explanation of those
So
people?
let me see first if I understood the question. So we should associate with senior or pure devotees, whatever we can get a hold of. And but you said there are people who have had intimate association with pure devotees like Prabhupada or Gurudev, but then they leave the path. Or worse than that, they become offensive to other pure devotees after their pure guru leaves. So fortunately I did ask Gurudev that. I said there are some people, some devotees who, like maybe your personal secretaries, they each take a turn for 1 year of traveling with you, and sometimes they're all with you. How is it? They had that with Prabhupada. So how is it that they're offensive to you and are considering like not even letting you in their temple, because they think it's their temple? So Gurudev answered, they only associated with him externally. They couldn't or didn't want to understand his moods. So it depends. There's a Sanskrit verse defining Sangha, or association, which means to associate sarva rupena in all kinds of ways, by body, mind, senses, soul, anugamana, always, continually. So that's real Sangha. And it doesn't necessarily depend on the physical association. Like our Prabhupada only saw his Prabhupada maybe 12 times. And he didn't live in the mud because he was a householder. So soon before his Guru Maharaj left the world, he asked him, "How can I serve you?" And he said, "Go preach Krishna consciousness in the West." And the other devotees who were in the temple asked him, "Why don't you invite him to stay in the temple?" And so Prabhupada said, "No, let him stay where he is. He will do wonders later on." Okay. Any other? Otherwise we'll have kirtan. Hey, Mangani? Anything? Oh yes, you always have good questions.
Why did the Pandavas suffer so much after Lord Krishna's departure and they had to climb the Himalayas and stuff like that?
Okay, so he's talking about the Pandavas, 5 brothers who are cousin brothers of Krishna and pure devotees. So when a pure devotee seems to suffer, there's no way that he can possibly be suffering, because that kind of associate of Krishna, they are absorbed in what's called prem, or pure love. And the nature of prema bhakti, this highest love, is that it's eternal, it's full of bliss, and it's full of ever increasing moment by moment bliss and ever expanding knowledge. But they act in that way to teach us something. Like, for example, the Pandavas have a shared wife named Draupadi. How they got a shared wife is another story. But their evil cousins challenged them to a dice match. And so they accepted the challenge. But the dice were loaded, so there's no way that they could have possibly won anything. Even if they, intelligently made a good guess, they couldn't have won. So they lost their kingdom, they lost their wealth, and then they lost their wife. And so Draupadi was in the Asat Sambhaya, or the assembly of crude and rude men. She was put there, and then they would, the 2 strong ones of them, or the main strong one, Dusasan, he would pull off her sari. So that's, for a chaste Vedic woman, that's the worst suffering, to be seen naked. Now it's glorified, but in the Vedic times it was the most shameful thing. So first she was holding on with her teeth and her hands, but these guys were as strong as 10,000 elephants. So what could she do to protect herself? And then she saw that that wasn't working, so she put one arm up and was still holding on with the other arm and saying, "Oh, Govinda Krishna, please save me." Wasn't working. So this was taking place in the Pandava city called Hastinapur. Now, hundreds of miles away is Krishna's city called Dwarka, where he and his 16,108 queens lived. So when she was like that and like that, Krishna was running around his room. And his queens were asking, why are you running around the room? He said, well, Draupadi's calling for my help, so why don't you go? Well, you have to leave now? Oh, you're all three of you are leaving. Yes? Well, I hope you take prasadam with you. You have a plate? Good. All right. See you soon. Hare Krishna, keep in touch. Thank you for coming. They're taking a plane. So, yeah. So he said, well, Draupadi is calling for me. Well, why don't you go? Because she's not fully dependent or surrendered. She's still trying to protect herself. So then finally, Draupadi put up both arms, as you see in the painting. And she said, oh Lord, if you like, you can save my honor. But now she gave up all thought of trying to protect herself. And that's when Krishna, was either Gurudev, yeah, Gurudev said, that without his shoes, he left the palace and then appeared the next second in Hastinapur, invisibly to most people. And he supplied her unlimited cloth. So finally, Dusasan just gave up. So then we hear why Krishna did that for her. It's because once Krishna cut his finger, and his wife, one of the queens, she ran around to look for a bandage. But Draupadi, she thought quickly, and she immediately ripped her sari and wrapped that around his finger. So because she gave a little bit of her sari, he gave her unlimited sari. So in this thing where Draupadi was in apparent suffering, it's to teach us so many things. One is how grateful Krishna is. One is how it's important to be dependent on Krishna, not on our own strength. Like that.
Okay. I also meant the Pandava kingdom. I read things like they were fighting each other with blades of grass that were like metal. So does that explain that too?
No.
Okay.
Okay, so this took place in Prabhas Chaitra. We were actually just reading it yesterday or the day before. So the young, not the Pandavas themselves, but their Krishna's sons and grandsons, they were young, and they thought they would play a joke on the sages. And so Krishna has a son named Samba, and they dressed her as a girl with the sari on, and they stuffed her, this part, with stuff. And so they asked the sages, so please tell what she's going to give, a girl or a boy, what is she going to give birth to? So you can't fool sages. So Durvasa Muni, he said, she's going to give birth to an iron lump that's going to destroy the whole Yadu dynasty. So in fact, iron lump came, and then the king, he shredded it into so many pieces and threw it in the river. But then those little teeny pieces came up onto the land and grew like grass. So it became big spears. And the Yadavas, all the men, started drinking rice wine, and so they all became drunk. And then they picked up the different spears and started fighting with each other and killing each other. So why did Krishna let his family do that? But I'm sure would be your next question. So Srila Gurudev told a story of two families of magicians. One family, the wife walked on a tightrope with so many things in her hands and head. And the husband did other magic, and the sons did other magic. And then they were so famous that they were performing this in front of the king and queen and their associates. So the queen gave the wife a very valuable necklace. And then one of the sons grabbed it and said, I want it. And the other son tried to grab it from the other son and said, no, I want it. So they were fighting over the necklace. And then both of them pulled out their swords, which they did their magic show with, and sliced off each other's head. And then the husband and wife, they were so aghast that they sliced off their own head. And there's all these bodies lying on the floor all bloody. And then somebody came along and swept it all up. So you can imagine how the queen felt. Can you imagine how the queen felt? So they were, the whole, kingdom, queen, king, everybody was just completely miserable. And the next day they got a letter from the husband and said, you gave us gifts for our first presentation of magic show, but you didn't give it for our second presentation of the magic show. If you don't believe us that we're alive and well, then you can come over and see. So the queen, they all came. And so the family presented them with garlands and everything. Now that's an amazing magic act, isn't it? And then, greater than them, I forget whether he was their father or their son, he was so famous that he also got the big businessmen and important people of India to come to his magic show. So it was scheduled to come at 4:30. These are people who think I'm a big man and I'm a busy man. So he was scheduled to come at 4:30. 4:30 came. They were all sitting there. He didn't come. Time went by, 4:45. They were starting to get a little agitated. 5 o'clock, they got really agitated. 5:30, they were ready to kill him. Doesn't he realize who we are? Who does he think he is? And so they were furious. And then he just moseys on onto the stage at 5:30. And they were so furious, yelling at him. And he said, why? What's the matter? You were supposed to be here at 4:30. Now it's an hour later. We're busy men. We have things to do. Who do you think you are? What? What are you talking about? They repeated themselves. What? It's only 4:30. Look at your watches. And they looked at their watches, and it was only 4:30. So now that's a magic act. So what to speak of Krishna? What a magician he is. So he did this magic show with all of his yadus. They didn't really get drunk and kill each other and suffer, things like that. Okay? All right, so now we're going to have kirtan. And who's going to be leading the kirtan? You want to lead the Shiva? Okay, it's at 5, huh? You can start sitting.
There's a
Divakar is the best of everything. Hey, Hari Bol,
Don't know if you could follow me.
can you come earlier on Sundays? Oh, okay. Nikunja's yoga class?
Very fun.
Yeah, but he shouldn't be teaching at the time of the program.
I'm very
I'll have to
difficult
talk to him.
follow, so take
This is much more important than his yoga class.
5 minutes?
Hmm? Yeah, 5 minutes.
Shri Gurudev ki, Shri Prabhupada ki, Shri Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki, Nanta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki. Gauranga, 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 Gauranga. Navadvipam Parakam ki, Gauranga, 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 Gauranga. Gauranga, Gauranga, Gauranga. Gauranga, 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 Gauranga. Gauranga, Gauranga, Gauranga.
Gauranga, Gauranga, Gauranga.
Gauranga. One more time. Gauranga, Gauranga, Gauranga.
Gauranga, Gauranga, Gauranga. Gauranga.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama.
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Radhe Radhe Radhe, Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Radhe Radhe Radhe, Jai Jai Shri Radhe.
Radhe Radhe, Jai Shri Radhe.
Radhe 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 Radhe, Jai Jai Shri Radhe.
Radhe Radhe, Jai Shri Radhe.
Radhe Radhe Radhe, Jai Jai Shri Radhe.
Hare Radhe Jai Shri Radhe.
Radhe 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 Jai Jai Shri Radhe.
Hare Radhe Jai Jai Shri Radhe.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare Hare,
oh Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Sing it, Fancy, sing it.
Rama, Hare Hare,
Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Don't smile at me.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Don't do it. And then you took him away.
Hare
Not only did you take yourself away from the program, but you took him away.
Oh, Radhe Radhe, Jai Jai Shri Radhe.
Radhe Radhe, Jai Jai Shri Radhe.
Oh, Radhe. Radhe. Jai Shri Radhe.
Radhe Radhe, Jai Jai Shri Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. Gauranga, Gauranga,
Ranga.
Navdeep Dham coming up soon. Gauranga.
Gauranga. Gauranga.
Gauranga. Gauranga. Gauranga. Haribo, Haribo. We gotta start prasadam time. Mahaprasadam Govinda.
And the senses are networks of paths leading to death. Somehow or other, we've fallen into this ocean of material sense enjoyment. And of all the senses, the tongue is the most difficult and uncontrollable. It is very difficult to conquer over the tongue in this world. But you, dear Krishna, are very kind. You have given us this nice prasadam, spiritual food, just to help us conquer over the tongue. Now let us take this prasadam to our full satisfaction. And in so doing, glorify their lordship, Sri Sri Radha and Krishna. And in love, call for the help of Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda Prabhu. Gaur Premanandi. So none of you need to go to the boutique because you're all regulars. So prasadam, if you go that away, the devotees will serve you. It's very nice, opulent prasadam today. And right now, it's Shiva and Vasanti are going to this MOVE festival to distribute books and art and kirtan and things like that. soon as they're going right away. Oh, you want to go? You want to go?